Hello and welcome to another edition of Connecting the Dots, where thought leaders, game changers and innovators share their tips, insights and learnings. My name is Andy Waltenspiel and I'm running a Munich-based consultancy for the media and telco industries. Today my guest is Ingmar Schmidt of Swisscom. He's portfolio manager for Swisscom TV. Welcome Ingmar, hello.
Hi Andy, thanks for having me today.
Great, so maybe we start with a little introduction about Swisscom TV and yourself. What are you doing there?
Well, I'm a manager at Swisscom at the TV operations department, and we're making ourselves responsible in defining the TV experience and the overall entertainment experience for Swisscom. In detail, this is oversight of the portfolio, development of the roadmap, what we're gonna ship out to the customers, the product pricing, and of course the product lifecycle, which to some extent is the most painful part. To our product itself, Swisscom has its own end-to-end platform, an IPTV product, where we own the development of the backend up till the front end, mostly done in-house. We see to the fact that the customer has a vast choice in the content universe and make it as frictionless and as easy as possible for the customers to discover and have access to this content universe. Whatever those content may originate from, like linear TV, on demand, SVOD, catch up, even by app, or to some extent sources like HBB TV, we bring all together and make it accessible to our customers. Since we launched in 2014, it has been a roller coaster ride, shipping features every 9 to 12 months. Today, we have 1.5 million households on our IPTV product. And people share up to 4 hours of their day with us.
So do a lot of things yourself, back end to front end. You mentioned AOSP, so I guess it's you want to be in control of your own destiny with content from many different sources. So it sounds like you're at least on the way, if not there, to become a super aggregator. Is that part of your strategy?
Super aggregator is the blood flowing through our veins. It is, well, as I said, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for our customer to have access wherever the content comes from. So in a super aggregator role, you not just have to find ways of bringing partnerships with the different kind of animals you find out there to life, but also make it discoverable into your own UI. And as you said, the ownership of the platform, the ownership of the experience is very dear and near to us, and we are very data driven, and we're listening to our customer on the features as on an extension, how they're actually using the product.
Okay, so if you could share just a little bit, what would you say are the success factors that this works well?
First, customer research. Are we digging on the right building sites? The other thing is ship fast, learn fast, and adapt. So we keep it near to us to be able to ship at least once within 3 months, a complete overhaul of the platform to customers to test it out. A/B testing is at the core of what we're doing. As a super aggregator, of course, everybody knows this. The quality of data, the metadata is essential at its core. So we have to look at whom we're working to get which data to make the different sources come together. And then we're also working heavily with startups and other research groups in bringing search and discoveries, the latest knowledge to the customer.
So that's a lot about technology. How about content? What can you tell us about the content pipeline, especially in these COVID times? What have you seen, some of the trends? Maybe share some interesting statistics as well.
On the content side, it was an interesting learning on the impact of sports. Suddenly, during COVID, all sports broke away. We saw that the content producers themselves, they switched over to documentaries. Even so, the consumption went in this direction, that people were way more interested in documentaries. The consumption went up, so there was a need for entertainment, which once the weather got better and people were able to get out again, suddenly dropped. Understandable.
Yes.
But also we see that the major studios, the content pipe is pretty dry because everybody was kind of shaken up by the effect to the industry. How will it affect their monetization? But we also see on the general content stream that there is quite shortage and everybody is fighting for content. The ones who are producing their own content, like Netflix and co, they're still able to produce and not to produce, to release new assets,
Mhm.
which they're playing wonderfully. And we also see this in the adoption of those OTT services, that there is a demand for it.
Interesting. Very interesting to see that things are shifting, and we also saw some hopping of the free period with some of these OTT players. And I think in the end, you say at the bottom line, it's more or less the same as before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the hopping between the OTT players is going to be an interesting playing field. Disney launched in Switzerland. There is demand for it, but there's not quite the big choice between OTT service like we see in the Nordics. We have only few SVOD services so far. So we're eager into learning how many subscriptions will a household adopt until he begins to opt out the first one and then replace it with a third one or a fourth one. But in general, what we also see is with 2.3 subscriptions in average per household, the household is pretty much satisfied.
Okay. Okay, good. So, and how can I receive your Swisscom TV offer? Which devices do you offer? How can I get access to it?
I knew that question would be coming. We are very set-top box focused. This
Okay.
has mainly one reason. The set-top box for us is still the prime experience. On the set-top box, we own the experience. We can pretty much steer how the content is presented and how it is conceived and consumed. Further on, Swisscom TV as a product itself is fully convergent. You already have the choice to switch to another device for consumption. So it's completely open to the subscriber if he wants to start one asset on a set-top box and continue watching it on a mobile device, or just rely on mobile devices. In some households, to an extent, we have a split usage behavior where the father or the mother is mainly consuming on the big screen, but the younger generations tend mostly to consume on their mobile device.
So, set-top box is not dead, for sure not for you.
It's not that.
But there's change, I guess, right? How do you see that evolve over the next couple of years?
Well, apart from the capex investment, which comes along with introducing a set-top box or still having the set-top box as main device, there are opportunities to leverage going directly on a big screen client.
Mhm.
But as I said, for us, the main experience is really still set-top box based.
Okay. So that brings us to the trends. So the set-top box here to stay, but you're basically agnostic of how customers achieve or reach your program. So what are the big trends you see impacting you, let's say on the entertainment side, not on the access and mobile?
Major trends coming up in the entertainment field is also connected with the set-top box, for example, the smart assistant. A smart assistant is a device which is understanding context, under which I'm searching, context under which commands I want to execute, and would be able to respond to me.
And do you have that already, or it's something you see on the horizon?
We launched the smart assistant last year in November. It's called the Swisscom box. It's integrated in the Swisscom set-top box. And again, it's something homegrown. We worked with different partners to bring to life.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not decided to hop on one of the wagons of the Googles and the Amazons of this world, because we as an incumbent see great potential in the use cases you can create already by having the CPE delivered in a household, connecting to the set-top box and connected to the big screen, which in short answer is the best media to feedback the responses, because you cannot read down a pure list of ingredients if you want a cooking recipe. So bringing it to the big screen or to the screen attached to it is one of the use cases where it comes easy. And that's a place where we see ourselves of bringing new features and great services for the customer.
Okay. So voice is one of the cornerstones of future evolution. So the UI will not just be the remote control, the 9 buttons, as you mentioned, volume up, volume down, but more like a conversational way of interacting with your entertainment offer.
Yes. Today, the interface from the customer to the media is the remote control. But voice is the next level in this sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned already a few things. So voice smart assistants, you mentioned discovery before when you were talking. So it's important to find the stuff that I'm interested to watch so I can articulate, this is what I want, but then I need to find it. What about monetization of content? I mean, the ARPU is one of the key KPIs that everyone is looking at. What's coming in this direction?
Monetization, well, if you look at the history, what changed pretty much in the TV industry, that the whole movement of OTT going directly to your customer brought a lot of new wind. And what is our place as a connection, as an incumbent in that, is that we have core capabilities in knowing our customers, in billing our customer, and that's where you can play together with the OTTs of this world, because they seek the access to the customer. If their content is right, there is no way of avoiding them. Mm-hmm. So if you can't beat them, join them. Yes. And we are extending our hand there by integrating them not just in our TV platform and making them visible and accessible very easy, but also helping them in actually collecting their fees. So topics like carrier billing are great new green fields where you can extend new partnerships and work together.
Mm-hmm. So it's co-opetition or more, maybe even cooperation more than competition, it seems.
It's more cooperation than competition those days.
Okay, so a lot of things for you on your plate, it seems. So maybe now then for the famous question, the $100 million. If I gave you $100 million, what would you do with it? Apart from buying a boat or retire?
Let's not be that selfish. Definitely, most of the technologies we have been talking about are based on machine learning. So I would pour most of that money into machine learning, into apply AI on further use cases, discovering new use cases for automation, bringing AI to create a better experience in search and discovery, but also provide guidance for our customers. Guidance where I, as a personal customer, surfing through the vast content thrown at me, are overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ingmar, that was a lot of stuff we touched, right? So it's super aggregator, success factors, the set the box, not that. You need control, you need discovery, AI, machine learning. Wow. Okay. So I'm sure you're going to be busy for quite a while. Thank you for being with us here today and sharing some of your tips, insights, and learnings. It was a pleasure to have you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Ingmar.
It was my pleasure to be with you today. Thank you very much.
Cool. Ingmar, take care. Thank you. Bye.